resentment. You know, if anyone had a reason to be resentful, it was me, because Sean was mean. He was mean when he was depressed, and he was mean when he was in addiction cycles and withdrawing and all these different things. We have holes in our walls. I have holes in my heart sometimes from the things that he said during those times. He stole money. He stole money from me, from the children, from their piggy banks. He emptied their oldest daughter's savings account to get his alcohol. He lied about everything, as he said. And so as a wife, probably the women here can relate to this, when your husband lies to you about big things like money and drugs and things like that, of course your mind goes to where else is he lying to me about? Has he been with someone else? And that was, by the time he got sober, I was this resentful, bitter person. And, you know, we've come that far, but it's almost like our marriage was at the rockiest point then, because I was just so angry. And I realized at that point that I had a choice to make, and that I could either try to make that a life sentence for him to try to make that up for me, or I could give it to God. And so I have to say that forgiveness piece also has to come to ourselves. And I just felt God beat myself up forever for what I've, you know, let the children go through, and that I was neglectful emotionally to them when all of that was going on. And, you know, I can really get caught in a guilt trap, and I'm sure Sean could also get caught in a guilt trap. And that's very much where our enemy would like us to be. But God, you know, he gave us his son so that we wouldn't have to do that. We don't deserve that, but by the grace of God, his son died on a cross so that we could be forgiven. And when he was on that cross, he said, "It is finished." He didn't say, "It's almost done, but you punish yourself a little bit longer." He said, "It is finished." And I often think of that, you know, he was spit on, mocked, beaten, humiliated, in torture on that cross. And what a slap on the face it is for me to look at him and say, "I don't believe you, Jesus, that was enough. So I think I'll just take over from here and punish myself some more." What a slap in the face that is to my Savior. When he says to me there's no more condemnation, then I want to believe that there's no more condemnation. I at least owe him that, because he gave his life for me to be able to say that. And so my daughter wanted me to share this, and I thought it was beautiful. We were on the beach, and the water would recede, and she would take a stick today, and she rubbed a stick through there, and they would make this big gouge, like a big wound, an open wound. And then the water would wash over it, and it was like smooth again. And she would do it over and over again, and it just so struck me that is like what Jesus does. We do these mistakes, we sin. That is what we do. We try not to, but it happens, and God, his blood just washes over us. It just washes over us, and it restores us. And it was so beautiful, because she said, you know, when we have an empty heart, God just fills it in. God just fills in the sand. And it was just such a sweet thing. And I'm so, today are here, and you need to remind yourself that you are forgiven. I pray that this would be the night as we continue with worship, that you would do that you would come and just be washed over again. Because God has lots of great things to do for you. And it's not enough just to believe in God, or to believe that he died on the cross even. Yes, that is important. He also calls us to remember that the same resurrection power, the same power that raised Jesus from the dead, is alive and active in us, which means he can resurrect our marriage, he can resurrect our finances, our relationships, our everything. He can resurrect it all. That is the power that we have. And I think that some easily get in the pit of complacency, where we just say, we're good enough, we're fine, and we're doing well. And God says, no, we have more work to be done. And so I just pray that if that's you today, if he is nudging you, then you just come and you just do business with God, because he says, come. I think he means it. He says, "Come to me, all you who are thirsty. Come to the waters. Come now and let us reason together. Come to me, all you who are weary. Come follow me. Come near to God, and he will come near to you." He invites us to come and lay our stuff at his feet and move forward in his grace. So